I know you miss me.
She rolling with me. They rolling on me. Now down my wrist. I got bangs, lights, relics. Ready, 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 ready. Ready, 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 ready. Ready or not, we coming hard straight from the top. Ready or not, I got my bros straight from the top. Ready or not. Ready or not. Ready or not.
Ready? No, I got all my bands on, no. I'm just making all this money, yeah, I'm catching up. All my niggas in the street tryna get it all. All my niggas by the guap, yeah, we get it all. This shit, hundreds, no. Making money, oh no.
Bathi khuluma nabo mfana ubatshela sikamba kanjani ulungani kwalalo aka umfana ka-chocolate kid Leo. Poo. Welcome to the Global Sunday Show. Yes. Firstly, let me say we apologize. We are delayed a little bit, but good news, we are also live on Diverse Global TV website. I just dropped the link. I dropped the link below on Facebook, and I'm also gonna drop it on YouTube. That's what's up, baby. It's your boy Lungani Kwala, aka Chocolate Cake Leo. Look, today we are talking about rap music. So amazing. We're gonna be introducing our guest for today. You already know he's been all on our social media accounts. You already know who we have today, and we're gonna be playing his music video. Amazing young man. I heard earlier on when they were talking with my panelist, and he was like, I know I look young, but I'm not young. I'm a man. I can say I'm a man. And I was like, okay, all right. Sounds awesome. But then, without wasting any time, please do drop some comments below. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know where you're at, what you're doing, what are your plans for Christmas, for New Year's Eve. Let me just introduce my panelist for today. All the way from USA, Arizona, Mr. Ken Laden. All the way from Germany, People Toffel.
Hello. Thank you, Lungani, and welcome to all of our fans around the world. Today, we are going to be introducing you to yet another amazing new artist on the scene. It's so exciting how we're able to give a global platform to these amazing artistic voices. But we're going to start with our traditional before we expose our guest, and that is Peepo. My week was a week of making ginger tea and all kinds of cold remedies because, and as you're going to hear, there's a lot of fluid going on in my head and my throat. So I apologize in advance if I have to sneeze or cough or something like that, but I'm here and it's not COVID. I took a home test, not COVID. Anyway, that was my week. I kind of didn't get much done. So Peepo, how was your week?
Hello, Ken. Hello, Lungani. Good to be here. And my week was different. I traveled to Austria and I was working in Austria and I crossed Germany from Cologne via Stuttgart, Munich, and then I went into Salzburg and from there to St. Pölten. And I had the chance to see the beautiful country going through it 10 hours by train. And it's just amazing to be traveling again. It's possible to travel again and to work with some great artists, someone who's been teaching ballet, dancing, a ballet master for 60 years. So that was very exciting. And I'm also glad to be back. Weather has dropped 4 degrees. However, that's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. And I hope I will not get sick, but I surely do love ginger tea, so I wouldn't mind get a cup.
All right, just come on over.
Yes, so let's play today's featured video, Lunkani. What have you got for us?
Of course, yeah. If you remember, last week we interviewed James, all the way from Arizona. So I'm just gonna play her video, and then when we come back, we're gonna be introducing our guest for today. I'm not gonna say it. See you guys when you come back.
Welcome back, everybody, and good morning, or good evening, or good day at the Global Sunday. It's good to be here, and today we have another great guest. It's Pro-Mhlo. Hello. Let's see.
Good evening and good morning to everyone. Yeah, I'm Pro-Mhlo.
That's great to have you. So, how would you describe yourself or your life to someone who does not know you yet? We had the chance to introduce ourselves in the behind the scenes studio, you know, when we prepared the show. So let's share that with our audience.
Well, my name is Mhlo. I grew up at Ezulwini, Mlindazwe. That's a place in our country, Swaziland, Eswatini. I'm a kind person, I'm a humble person, and a good listener. I like fun, and I'm so happy that here at home I stay with my grandma and my sister. So that's the life I'm living. It's not a luxurious one, but it's a good one. We understand each other.
But you said in the green room before, you said, you know, that you really, your whole life is music. And, you know, I think coming from a humble place, coming from a place of connection with family, with the land you come from, what better way is there to celebrate that than through your music? I just think that that's a wonderful thing.
Pardon me?
No, I just said that you had said that you dedicate yourself through music, and to be a humble man and to enjoy family and to live at the land, you know, where your ancestors come from. What a good way to celebrate that is through music. And so, you know, it is really a gift to everybody that you celebrate that.
Yeah, that's very true. I celebrated through music because before I write, it comes from my emotions and the mood at that moment. So I even dedicated one song to my mom entitled Mama, because I'm so happy and celebrating the family.
Pro, can I say pro, or is that okay?
No problem.
No problem.
Indeed.
I started to watch a movie yesterday about a marathon runner from Kenya, I think, and his name is. He's trying to be the first person on the earth to run a marathon under 2 hours, Kipchoge. And everybody also says that he's a very humble man, even when he got famous and had a lot of successes. and it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see him running, and everybody around him also, you can see that they speak about that, and it seems to be a very important quality if you're an artist and you start to have a career and you get exposed to all kinds of possibilities, that you remain connected to your roots. And in the
Yeah.
same time, I see those records on your wall and I go like, yes, that's what I love.
I'm so glad that you love my background. Yeah, I'm so in love with music. I'm so addicted. So that's why my background is like this.
For me, music is essential in my life. It's like food. So it's food for my soul. And I can, depending on the mood I am or what I need to do, I put on different musics, depending on the day, depending on the time. So there's music for different times. And I can even remember, listened to an album that I would listen in a time when life was difficult after like a breakup of a relationship, and there was this album of a jazz singer, a lady called Shirley Horn.
Oh,
And yes. And it's just incredible how everybody who's able to make music, I admire that. So beautiful. I commend you on choosing to dedicate your life to that.
I
Yeah,
I have
that
a question before we even go any further. I would like to know the story behind the records that you have behind you. First of all, welcome to the Global Sunday Show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making time to be a part of the show. We're really, really excited that you are here, and we are looking forward to learning more about hip hop. I mean, I know we've heard a lot of different hip hop artists, and they're from different places, and I'm looking forward to hear your perspective and your experience in the hip hop industry. But what is the story behind those records behind you? Are those real records, first of all?
yeah, they are real records.
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain it briefly.
Mm.
Because I'm so in love with music, I don't only want to sing or to only being an artist. I also looked in tutorial videos of how to master songs. Like I wanted to be a producer, so I had a bedroom studio. That's why I have these records behind me, because where I am now, it was where the mic was. So I had this bedroom studio.
Interesting. People, I don't know. Is it you?
I want to go and get some of my favorite records and start talking with you. So see you later. Let's listen to some music. Oh, well, let's go and have a look at one of our videos, and then we come back talk some more. What do you think?
Do you think we should go to the news, or we
Oh,
should
no problem.
we should play a video? I think we should go to the news. I'm sure there's a few people that I know, they only log in to watch the news and then they hop out. So if we don't give them the news today, they're really gonna get mad at us. So what do you think? News?
Hold on. I'm on delay, and I. Oh yeah, let's go to the news.
Absolutely. Let's go to the news. Mr. Ladin. Mr. Ladin.
welcome to Global Sunday News. I'm Kenneth Ludden. Today is November 14th, 2021. We are transitioning seasons around the world. But today, the world is coming to reckoning with many different things. First in the news is Scotland and the Global Warming Summit, diplomats from nearly 200 countries yesterday struck a major agreement aimed at intensifying global efforts to fight climate change by calling on governments to return next year with stronger plans to curb their planet warming emissions and urging wealthy nations to at least double funding to protect poor nations from the hazards of the hotter planet. The New Deal will not on its own solve global warming, despite the urgent demands of many of the thousands of politicians, environmentalists, and protesters who gathered at the Glasgow Climate Summit. Its success or failure will hinge on whether world leaders now follow through with new policies to cut greenhouse gas emissions. And the deal still leaves vulnerable countries far short of the funds they need to cope with increasing weather disasters. The talks underscored the complexity of trying to persuade scores of countries, each with its own economic interests and domestic politics, to act in unison for the greater good of the entire planet. But the agreement established a clear consensus that all nations must do much more immediately to prevent a harrowing rise in global temperatures. And it set up transparency rules to hold countries accountable for the progress they make or fail to make. From there, we're going to go to Belarus. The sudden surge of immigrants to Belarus from the Middle East, that is now the focus of political crisis in Europe, was hardly an accident. The government of Belarus loosened its visa rules in August, Iraqi travel agents said, making a flight to the country a more palatable journey to Europe than the dangerous sea crossing from Turkey to Greece. It increased flights by the state-owned airline and then actively helped funnel migrants from the capital, Minsk, to the frontiers with Poland, Latvia, and Lithuania. The Belarusian security forces gave them directions on how to cross into the European Union countries, even handing out wire cutters and axes to cut through border fences. These moves, which European leaders have characterized as a critical ploy to weaponize migrants in an effort to push Europe, opened the gates to people desperate to flee a region plagued by instability and high unemployment. Now, thousands of people are stranded or hiding along the border in freezing conditions, not wanted by the European Union countries, or circumstances are making clear by the country that lured them there in the first place. I shake my head as I tell you the news. It is just shocking to me personally. That is not the view of Diverse Global Television. That is the view of this reporter. Next, we're going to go to South Africa. In February of last year, as South Africa's last white president sat in parliament listening to a State of the Union address, a firebrand young politician interrupted the proceedings. Honorable Speaker, we have a murderer in the House, said Julius Malema, the politicians, pointing to Mr. de Klerk, the man who, as president, had helped dismantle the apartheid system, but whose statements about it over the last decade angered South Africans, particularly Black South Africans, who still live with the legacy of its injustices. And then, as Mr. de Klerk sat stone-faced, Mr. Malema led a chant to force him out. De Klerk must go, de Klerk must go. But Mr. de Klerk stayed. And the incident was over in minutes, but it would stain the already tainted legacy of Mr. de Klerk, who died this past Thursday at the age of 85. Despite apologizing for the suffering caused by apartheid policies, Mr. de Klerk repeatedly shied away from describing South Africa's brutal segregationist rule as a crime against humanity, and at times sought to justify the separation of ethnic groups. Though he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 that he shared with the country's first Black president, Nelson Mandela, Mr. de Klerk never took responsibility for the violence perpetrated by security forces under his leadership. Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu, also a winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, said before Mr. de Klerk's death that he, quote, could have gone down in history as a truly great South African statesman, but he eroded his stature and became a small man, lacking magnanimity and generosity of spirit. And now, in spite of the fact that we have that disturbing news, now we're going to go to the video that Mr. Pippo Tafel really wants you to see. We'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back, everybody. And thanks, Longani, for tossing it over. Got it. So, Pro-Mhlo, tell me, what is your favorite album?
My favorite album is by Sjava in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure which album is it. Yeah,
Isn't
but
that
I'm saying
difficult?
that.
You know, like every time seems to have different albums.
Yeah, but I'm so in love with the songs, Inshitio, all those songs. They really have a message in them.
What is the message? I don't know this one yet. Maybe I can share and exchange it later. Can you tell me?
Yeah, in these songs, he talks about love, the pain he went through, and some of the songs he apologizes to his, I can say, ex, how things ended, and some of the love songs are really charming. You can even play them like when you are trying to propose to someone, because they have that message of love, how love is, you know.
You remind me of back in the days how we would make mixtapes. So we would have a cassette, just you know, like one of those.
Yeah, I can see.
And we would make a tape. So, I mean, if you really like someone, you would make a tape for them.
Oh, okay.
And you record track after track, and you think about like, how do you want it to be? How do you want the development on the tape? What do you want the atmosphere? What kind of atmosphere? It's like a playlist, just that you need to figure it out before, because you cannot be recorded and from the beginning and then you stop and then you go further. So you just reminded me of that time when, you know, love songs and all of that. I mean, I still listen to them, you know, some of the stuff I was listening.
Okay, it was really a long process.
You know, talking about love songs, there's a friend of mine who is a very well-known singer, and she kept getting pressure by her producers to sing love songs like about young people. And the artist I'm speaking of is Rita Moreno, and she was a grandmother and a great-grandmother at that time. And Nancy Wilson was also in the conversation, who is a great jazz legend in America. And Nancy Wilson was saying the same thing. He said, why do we have to sing these songs like we're 15 when there's so many other kinds of love? And they both decided to put out albums that was the stories of love of somebody who is in their 70s and 80s. And those albums are treasures. Nancy Wilson dedicated her album to her grandson, And Rita Moreno dedicated her album to all of the grandparents in the world. And even though they were old singers, you know, they were very, very famous, those albums outsold all of the recent albums from the 10 years prior for both artists, because there is a market for every kind of love song, not just the young love songs. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it made me think back to that time.
Yeah. Love songs are so powerful.
In a way, when you're in love or when you just fell out of love, you can really understand what it is about. And then if you can appreciate them once you're whatever that means to be in between, because you can love many things, right? Love is not related to persons only. It's a
Yeah, that's
universal emotion.
I have a question. I know we have a list of questions that are, you know, on the table for us, but I know, and my panelists they're gonna beat me up for being off script a little bit. But Pro, I just wanna get to know you a little bit more. Where were you born? Like, originally, where were you born, and where are you right now? Currently, where are you?
well, I was born is this sound that disturbing? Sorry.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I was born at Ezulwini, Mlindazwe, and that's where I'm currently at. It's my home. That's where I live.
What kind of a place it is? Where is it, in South
Uh,
Africa? Is it in where is it?
oh, it's in Swaziland, Eswatini. I'm sorry about that to leave you hanging.
Yeah, and what kind of a place it is? I mean, are you familiar with South Africa? Have you been to South Africa?
Uh, no, I've never been in South Africa.
Right, right.
Uh, but I can say my place is it's a growing town, more like urban.
Mm, all right. Okay. No, sounds good. I believe Mr. Ladin, you had a question, or people?
Actually, in my script, it's Pipo now.
Right.
I think we're at question number 4, or no, number 3.
So, Pro, why hip hop? Why not jazz, Maskandi, or something else?
Well, I grew up listening to hip hop. My uncle, he's a fan of hip hop, so I used to spend most of my time with him. We used to play video games. Sometimes we go for a gym. So he used to play this hip hop. So I feel like it got into my veins because I liked the aggressiveness of the beats, like the kicks and the tic-tacs, and the message behind hip hop, because they tell stories, they flow, they rhyme, you know. So I'm so in love with hip hop. That's why I'm going for hip hop. But I'm a flexible artist. I can do maskandi, I can do amapiano, I can do anything. It's just my genre that I chose, hip hop.
You know, when you're singing a song, you're taking the audience on a journey. And if you're on that journey yourself, you know, from the music, then the people listening have an absolute freedom to be on that journey with you. And that's one of the magical things about music. Another thing about hip hop that is really amazing, if you think of it, if you hit a drum, if you have a bunch of people, whether they're in the same room or listening on their earbuds, you know, 10,000 miles away and 10 years later, and that drum beat hits, not only does it vibrate the eardrums, but it vibrates the air, it vibrates your body, it vibrates everything that is able to be impacted by that. So hip hop music, more than any other kind, unifies, like literally makes everybody listening one organic being. And if the message and the journey of the song is also something that is unifying, it's very powerful. Like you said, with love, we've all been in love or thought we were. Many of us have broken up, and some of us and some people out there, as people said, it's not just the love with another person. Love of God, love of country, love of profession. There's so many things that we love, but with all of the music that's out there, and you talking about how you absolutely love music, how do you come up with a new song? What inspires you to make a new song?
Well, it's my mood at that moment or the situation I'm in, because I make sure every song of mine has a message behind. So if I'm not feeling okay, maybe I'm sick, maybe I'm angry, maybe I'm happy, I just drop it down. So that's how I come up with the song.
You remind me of a time when I would go and dance, and it was the thing to do with take my emotion, and I would go to to a club, and I would dance the hell out of it, like the devil out of my body, until I wouldn't be able after 20 minutes to do anything else anymore. Sometimes it took
Yeah.
me only 20 minutes.
But at least you have distressed the feeling in you. You are feeling better if you are not feeling better, and if you were happy, you feel more happier than than before.
Yes, there was some peace that came from it, and also it made me realize that at that time I was studying media arts, I was filmmaking. Okay, I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I was with the computer and with the keyboard all the day long. At that time, computers would crash often. That was 21 years ago. So you would edit a film and then wait all over the night until in the next morning you could look at the film.
Yeah. Took a very long time.
It took a very long time, and I was getting crazy. I had my back was like that. No, like I was unhealthy, incredibly unhealthy. I had all kinds of problems from sitting at the computer all the day. So I hope I hope you don't have that from singing. But that's when I would go dancing also.
It depends. It depends, because you find that you are that I'm writing a song, then I feel like, what about I go to studio now? I feel like I have pressure from nowhere, because I feel like what I wrote is so good. I feel like the fans can hear what I just wrote. You see, I give myself pressure over nothing.
It's really interesting how we get rid of pain. The different ways that people use. I mean, as I'm listening to you guys talking about this, it reminds me of some certain things that I've been through as I was growing up also. It's funny because for me, when I'm stressed, I get very chubby, because I eat a lot. So, but when I was young, just to balance what you pro and people are talking about, when I was young, I would, when I'm hurt in a relationship, I would go and dance a lot also, like gym and dance, go lift weight and go to gym and, I would get really, really, really buff. And people wouldn't know that I'm going through a major stress. So yeah, when you see me with, a buff body or, really handsome looking body, you must know that I'm stressed out. But when I look like this, I'm not stressed out. So yeah, I'm just, I just wanted to add that it's really interesting how one deals with stress. So yeah, I hope someone who's watching at home, is getting an idea that there's always ways of how you can protect yourself from going through too much stress. There's always things that you can do. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for sharing that. Anyways, I'll pass it over to Mr. Ken Laden.
As you can see, I am not going through any stress at all and haven't for a long time because I am the opposite of buff. But also I missed 21 years apparently because you said that computers used to crash 21 years ago, but mine did it yesterday and the day before and even this morning. So I guess I'm behind the times. I would love to be in one of those current time places where the computer simply does not crash. At any rate, I definitely am hearing what everybody's saying. And now we're going to transition. I'm going to do the second segment of the news, which is our COVID update.
And you on.
Welcome to the Global Sunday News. Our second segment, traditionally over the last year and a half, has been a COVID update. We'll just take a look in around the world. New infections in Europe approached record highs as the World Health Organization warned that the continent was back at the epicenter of the pandemic. The WHO forecast that Europe would experience 500,000 COVID deaths in the next 3 months. Britain became the first country to authorize an antiviral pill for COVID-19, an easy-to-use treatment that could slow a surge in cases as winter approaches. Costa Rica became one of the first countries to say it would require COVID vaccines for people younger than 18. In Costa Rica, those 12 and older are already eligible for vaccination. The government did not give a minimum age for the inoculation, but said that vaccines for children under 12 would be procured by next year. An undisclosed number of people, including a delegate from the United States, tested positive for the coronavirus at the United Nations climate talks in Glasgow. Organizers of the event, which gathered 20,000 people from across the world, required attendees to take daily rapid tests and self-report their negative test results before entering the venue. Today, more than half of the world's population has received at least one vaccine dose, although the global figure masks a vast disparities in vaccine access between wealthy and poor nations. More than 7.3 billion doses have been administered worldwide. As a new wave of coronavirus pandemic crashed over Eastern Europe last month, devastating unvaccinated populations, an Orthodox church bishop in southern Romania offered solace to his flock. He said, "Don't be fooled by what you see on TV. Don't be afraid of COVID." Bishop Ambrose of Giurgiu told worshipers in his small Romanian town on October 14th, "Don't rush to get vaccinated." The bishop is now under criminal investigation by the police for spreading dangerous disinformation, and his anti-vaccine clarion call, echoed by prominent politicians, influential voices on the internet, and many others, helps explain why Romania has in recent weeks reported the world's highest per capita death rate from COVID-19. On Tuesday last week, nearly 600 Romanians died, the most during the pandemic. The country's death rate relative to the population is almost 7 times as high as the United States and almost 17 times as high as Germany. As I have said from the beginning, this is very, very important. It is important not only that we talk and think about ourselves, but every single time the COVID virus is caught by someone, it is then spread. And the unbridled spread among unvaccinated populations is giving birth to new and much more powerful variants. The Delta variant caused a very, very large peak in deaths and infections. And now the Delta Plus variant is just taking hold as the weather is changing. Get your vaccine. Do it for yourself, of course. Do it for your loved ones. And do it for all of the loved ones of the people you might pass by on the street if you happen to carry the virus and pass it to them. And now we're going to go to another featured music video, and then we will return with Pro-Mhlo, our esteemed guest this week on the Global Sunday. Thank you for listening.
Yes, that was Ustelo Gowane, Petelapana. Dude, the guy who works for, actually, he's a producer in a radio station called Inanda FM. Basebenza laphana no, if you remember, Bongi Msomi, they work together. Yeah, that's a beautiful track. That's a nice track. Stelo Gowane, shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you, my brother. But yeah, let's go back to my lovely panelist and see where this talk takes us. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
People,
Bro.
you seem busy right there.
I
everything okay?
said back in the green room, I said, let's get some records, okay? Since we're talking about records.
Do you want me to do you want me to read the comments while you're getting your records?
This is one of my favorite records at the moment. This is Herbie Hancock, Maiden Voyage. And they just re-released the vinyl. Since I could only listen to it on CD, I now have it on vinyl. It is a difference between night and day.
Yep.
So I wanted to ask you, Pro, what makes a great song?
You good?
Well, I think for a song to be so great, you have to be professional, first of all, because unprofessionalism makes something not to be good. It destroys everything. So first of all, professionalism is needed. Secondly, a beat should be so wonderful. Like, as I've said, I've made an example about why I love hip hop. For me, I feel like the aggressiveness of the beat, like the kick should be so strong. I cannot comment about the other genres on how the beat should be, but it should be a great beat. The artist should flow very good on the beat. Lastly, the rhyme is so important. You can flow, but the rhyme is also important. So these 4 things, I think they are very, very important to make a great song. Rhyme, flow, beat, and professionalism.
I could not agree with you more. You know, I have in my life, I have worked in the recording studio, on stage live, and many, many other settings with some incredible singers with some incredible songs. And one of the singers that I worked with is a pop singer, just pure pop, Miss Liza Minnelli. And hello, Liza May out there, if you're listening. But she said when you have a song, it's a great song if when you start singing it, you feel like you're sitting and talking to your best friend about something real going on in your life. And that was sort of the way she said it. But absolutely, it's got to have that beat. It's got to be not just tight rhyming, but it's got to be clever. It's got to be a use of words that says more than just the words, that there's more meaning behind it and it rhymes. And that's something that in rap music has just escalated through the roof. And also by using the diction to assist in the rhyme, a whole lot of words that maybe aren't exact perfect rhymes become rhymes. And so that it has opened up the ability. I just think that the artists out there who understand that, they're making great music every single time they do anything. But I have a question that is a little bit subjective to our moment now. How have you experienced the last year and a half with COVID? What helped you get through these very difficult times?
COVID affected very, very big. I have this job, day-to-day job. So I take that money and buy these beats, go to studio, make music videos with it. So due to this COVID-19, we had to stay home because of this COVID cases. So I found myself jobless for those few months. So I couldn't do my music the way I want to do it. But due to these vaccines and everything, things are starting to be better, and I got my job back. So now I'm able to do my music again.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Pipo.
We had the sad moment of losing O2 earlier this year, and spoke to one of the members of the band called Saints PMF. And there's one musician, and he told me also, we stayed in touch after being in contact to know more about O2, and we stayed in touch, and he told me how difficult it was since something similar happened to him. He lost his job, and it was impossible, to carry on the way before. It's amazing when you're able to have the arts in your life. I always felt that art, making something, was kind of saving my life many times. Have you felt like that before? Does it correspond to you also?
Yeah, it saves me big time, because there are some other things I feel like they are not good to be doing as a young person. So I think music saves me from doing those bad things, because even when I'm angry, I found myself writing a song than to beat up a person, then I get arrested maybe, so it saves me big time.
Yes, we had this other guest who was working with O2 also, and he also mentioned how important it is for him as a rap artist to work with kids and to show them another option. Do you remember Lungani and Ken when we spoke to our New York-based rap artist who said he'd been in prison, and now what he wants to do is to give kids and teenagers a chance to do something, since there was nothing they could do, and they would just easily fall into the trap of throwing their lives away by doing things that would just be not helpful, but would be so easily to fall into that trap.
I have a question about that because back in the days of Eminem and Queen Latifah and you know some of those earlier rap artists, the I don't know the right term, but hopefully with my gray hair you won't expect me to know all the current terms. But it was like a rap competition, a rap. I don't know what that. It's like open mic, you know, at the comedy club, except it was rap. And it was very, very related to stepping and popping and locking and some of the hip hop forms or derivatives of hip hop, where people would be in a competition, but it wasn't a competition to beat the other person. It was a competition to inspire, to create something, to just expand it more. And coming out of one of those evenings, so many people got to participate, both on stage and in the audience. It gave everybody something to do, and it wasn't about promoting sales for one artist. Is that still going on today? Is that kind of thing still happening?
Yeah, we try by all means as artists to assist each other, and there are some outdoor and indoor events whereby we try and push our craft, and we sell those few CDs, trying to promote our music, and not only sell, and you can also buy those CDs from other artists, showing support, and we are trying to work together. Yet some other artists are not in that mentality. They feel like they can do it on their own.
Yeah, I think yeah, it used to. I think it's called rap battles or something like that, because they will battle each other, you know, for the sake of respect. Um, yeah, that's a good question because I haven't seen it that much lately, but it's still there. You know, it's still there. I know in South Africa there is there are people like Abozagwe, Duncan, you know, who they do South African hip hop, and I know that they host battles and they host events, just like how Pro is explaining right now. Um, but you know, it's not as much as it used to be before. You know, back in the days, you'd find every corner. You know, you'd find rappers, you know, spitting some lines, battling each other. You know, dropping some lines straight from the head. Right now, it's all written, and you know, people will pretend as if they are freestyling, but it's something that is on their books. So yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I think hip hop was
Yeah,
really really fun in those days. Yeah, please go for it.
yeah. The reason why people the reason why this thing is no longer happening is because people take it into their chambers now. You find that there is this battle and someone get to diss the other person, then a fight is picked up there, then maybe police are involved in whatever.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason it's starting to fade away. But still, it's still on. We are still doing it, but it's not that much like back in the days.
That sounds very much like what you're speaking about when. Damn, why do I not remember our New York guest? What was his name?
Ballstick,
Bostic, William Bostic.
William
So when
Ballstick.
we had William Bostic, I looked at the origins of hip hop culture, and I got that book with photographs, and there was a female photographer in New York, and she heard about those things happening, and she went there and she took pictures, and there's a big book about it, and I got it from my neighbor actually, who's a big hip hop fan. So he said, "Hey, you know, you gotta look at that book." And so I looked at that book. It's incredible. It's very inspiring. There is, and we talked about it, Ken, recently when you and I talked about the importance of having different art forms represented, and that the students, you know, at the academy have the chance to make experiences in different dance forms, how much things have become commercial. However, hip hop wasn't commercial at all at the beginning. And if we look at Jill Scott Heron, and who, you know, was doing rap in the 70s and with jazz musicians and all those things, woo. But I'm getting lost here, and I have to watch out that, you know, there's a script. As Pro-Mhlo said, you got to be professional. So why don't we go and see a video now, and we'll see you out back after that.
Right. Yeah. I'm just gonna
Okay.
I'm just gonna add something quickly here. Yes. What we're gonna do right now. We're gonna play a video from Pro-Mhlo. Pro-Mhlo, not Pro-Mhlo. Actually, Pro-Mhlo. And then maybe we're gonna talk about that video a little bit, if you don't mind, Pro-Mhlo. And then
Yeah.
to all the viewers at home, we're gonna be reading your comments, so please do not go anywhere. We're gonna be reading your comments, and we're gonna be saying hello to everyone who is watching. We're gonna go from our YouTube channel to our Facebook channel. So yep, enjoy this music video, and we will see you when we come back. Remember, this is the Global Sunday Show. I'll see you when we come back.
ngisabi lo make phela kade ngamgcina abathatha phela umntwana bani lokho kusehlelweni
Ngiyabeba si.
Endleleni samba sami Ngisendleleni samba sami Ngisendleleni samba sami Ngisendleleni samba sami Ngisendleleni samba sami
I believe we are back. Something happened. And fortunately, we are back. Yes, we are back. Something happened. I don't know what it is, but we are back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yep. People, I believe you're going to welcome us back. And before we comment on the video, can I please take a few people who are watching at home?
Go for it, Longani.
Thank you. Let me take it over. Yes, let's first check on the comments. Let me scroll all the way up. I see you, Mr. Guala. Let me see. Mamma Mia. It is Mamma Mia. Shout out to you. Tabi, I see you. Queen Kamakwala, my nephew. Ati, oh yeah. Shout out to you. Ati Mamma Mia, welcome. Mr. Mhloni, Shwa Twala, welcome. Atubongi Msomi, greetings. I hope you good. Have a wonderful show and a great week. That's Bongi Msomi. Shout out to you. Atu Shanley Greens, Pro-Mhlo, I'm so happy for you. Thanks a million to the Global Sunday team. Without you, we are nothing. Oh no, without you, we are nothing. Shout out to you, Shanley Greens. Actually, that music video we just played right now, it featured Shanley Greens, and we're gonna talk about that after this. Yes, and then next is Sila Sveta, watching from Blantyre, something like Blantyre, Malawi, something like that. I don't know how to read that, but you'll correct me. And then yes, Luno is saying hello everyone. Hello Luno, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing. And yeah, let's check the likes over here. Finally, Eugene, shout out to you. Thank you so much for your likes. Thank you for sharing, Mamma Mia. Madela Delani, shout out to you. Thank you so much for liking the stream and for sharing. Stelo Bantu Soul S.A. Radebe, thank you so much for liking. for liking our page. Let's go down here. Oh, Mr. Kuzwa. Yo, you remember Mr. Kuzwa? We had him on the show a few weeks ago. He's a very amazing, almost like young man. I feel like I'm grown up because I'm always hanging out with like, grown people, So yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I will hand it over to people and yeah, we're probably going to talk a little bit more about the music video that you just played right now. Mr. Tafel.
Hello back, everybody. And
Yeah,
big
we're
shout out. Welcome back. Well, we have a lot of conversation here in the green room. I always love that when the videos are playing. It gives us possibility to talk about things. But before I have a question, I think that Ken, you also wanted to speak about the video.
Well, I'm my degree from university is in art history. My career is in professional ballet, drama, singing music professionally. And I have a whole lot of information in my head from all the things I've done. And one of the things that is very important when you're presenting something visually is that the visual presentation really connects with the person viewing it, that they're there with you rather than it being something far away that is framed that they're looking at. And I saw in that video, your cinematographer did an excellent job. It was so beautiful. You could see the natural environment. You could see the individuals. You could see the story. And he used a technique that is from the Dutch master painters, where they would make the frame be a little bit smaller than the actual size and shape of what was going on, which made you really aware of the bigger place that they were in, and it was beautiful. First of all, for those of you who live in Africa, you live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and it is so diverse. Africa is not one thing, it's 100 billion things. But for those of you who don't live in Africa, you got to go. It's not just the landscape. It's not just the colors. It's not just the people. Africa it's like the land of celebration of life. And it is where all human life came from. We are all Africans from the beginning of our ancestors. And as a friend of mine once said, if you ever go back home, you're going to leave your heart there. So any human being that goes to Africa, when they come back from being in Africa, their heart is at home in Africa. And that certainly is true for me. But I really felt that in that video. The cinematographer was great. I'm not ignoring your song. Your song was fantastic and your vision is fantastic, but I was very moved by the cinematography in that video clip. Brilliant job. The artist's name is Slem?
DJ Slen. He's a DJ
Slen.
and a photographer, videographer, everything.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So as much as it has all those beautiful collaborations, we also come across challenges doing the craft of making those things happen. What kind of challenges do you come across in the music industry, especially in hip hop? Pro.
These days, the trending songs are amapiano. And in my country, they are so in love with gospel and the amapiano. So the challenge we are facing as hip hop artists is that hip hop is not, they are no longer interested in hip hop. Even the bookings, they book the amapiano and the gospel artists, and there's less bookings of hip hop artists. Also, even the DJs in these parties or events, they DJ for amapiano, not hip hop anymore. So we are really, really facing challenges as hip hop artists. But as an hip hop artist, I'm saying I'll never let it go. I'm still a hip hop artist, and I will push until I bring it up again because I'm so in love with music, and I'm learning to push and push until I make it. So this challenge is really a big challenge to us hip hop artists, but we have to make means to make it work.
Maybe
You know,
you. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
no, I was going to say, I'm hearing what you're saying, and I see it happening. I've seen it in the classical ballet. It's almost gone now. But the thing about hip hop is, when it started off, just rhythm and music. Rhythm and percussion.
And poetry.
Poetry. Sorry, thank you. Rhythm and poetry. RAP.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then they started adding sample sounds that were more harmonic, and then they started singing the chorus, that kind of thing. Hip hop, it's like curry. You can use any combination of ingredients and make a curry. And I honestly believe that hip hop is one of the most egalitarian and harmonizing art forms there is. There's no reason that hip hop can't do more and more fusions with jazz, with gospel, with all of the different things as they are popular. Empower it and empower the hip hop by embracing those flavors in the curry of new songs. That would be, because hip hop is sort of like Art Deco. It will always shine through. It will never be outshined by one of its elements. But anyway, that was just my take on it. And it leads me to my next question. And how far are you planning on taking your music career? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
Well, as I'm an artist, I don't want to only end as an artist, but I would like to have a studio and help other artists on how to do this music, on how to fight these challenges that I've just talked about, and how to do this thing and how to be professional. All these things I would like to do it. So I find myself and I wish to build my own empire and help other artists, have a studio, and welcome everyone, not only hip hop artists to work with me, but everyone who is willing to do music.
Pippo.
I'm I'm lost because I'm thinking about the possibility. Well, I'm not lost, but I'm in an idea, and I'm thinking of how that studio would be, where people would be invited. And that's a very beautiful idea because it's all about interaction. We're human beings, we are social beings. We need to get together. We need to celebrate being humans, and also we need to make music together. And
Yeah.
now it's beautiful that we can sit here and talk to each other, and in the same time I'm on my own here. We're not together, and it changes a lot if we would be together in one room. It's just a different thing. When I edit a film and someone comes and watches the film with me, I see different things in the film. And it's hard to understand unless you have experienced it, that the presence of another person changes my perception. And there are findings in physics that when you look at something, that this changes the way that the particles, like small particles, are looked at with a microscope. And then it has turned out that when you look at them, they go differently rather than you when you don't look at them. And they couldn't explain it for such a long time. So it means that attention changes things, presence changes things, and everybody who's
Yeah.
ever had a pet or had a girlfriend or a boyfriend or you met your grandmother, or looking at the picture of your grandmother after she's gone is not the same like being with your grandmother. It's just different. So it's I fingers crossed that all works out with this studio. I always had the dream of also having a place where we could work together, and you could go outside, you have a door, and then there would be something outside. Maybe there would be a plant or something, that it isn't only concrete and a home. Not, it doesn't have to be a garden, just like to be able to see the sun, those things, real things. As much as electric lighting is great, we can switch it on and off. The real sun, the real sunlight is different. And so is the real nature. As much as looking at the picture of the sea is beautiful, being there is completely different. So hopefully that will work, and you are determined. So I guess something will happen there. So tell me something. What was your most proud moment in your career?
My most proud moment. I wish you can repeat that. I was so happy and proud of myself when my music video was being played on TV. I was so happy. I never imagined myself being played on screen. Like, oh my God, is that me? Even when I went outside, like on the street, people were congratulating me, like, we saw you on TV. Oh, so you're getting popular now, So I was so proud of that.
In your collaborative notion and bringing artists together, you featured Shinley Greens, who is one of the Global Sunday guests that we've had here, in a song called Gisen Lelini, if I'm saying
Yes.
that correctly. What is the story behind that?
First of all, let me talk about the word, the title, Ngisendleleni. Ngisendleleni means I'm on my way. So this song is a love song talking about a man who went to work far away, and he's telling his wife over the phone that I'm on my way, so what should I carry you? Like those goodies, because it's been long since I saw you. So it's around there, we're talking about love.
And how did the song come about? And how did the collaboration?
I saw Shiny Greens at Elangeni. She was performing, and I was also performing. We shared the stage, and I asked for her contact details, and I tried to talk to her that I would like to collaborate with her. So she approved my proposal. It took time though, because I saw her in 2018 and she was staying in South Africa. Then our collaboration happened in 2020. So it's 2 full years. But I was so patient enough, because now it happened. So as we were together planning on the song, we were like, okay, because we both, I think we both like love music. So we talked about what will we talk about? She came up with the titling Ngisendleleni, and I popped up with ideas of Ngisendleleni, what we are going to talk about. So that's how we came up with the song.
So what does it mean? Is there a translation of the title?
It means I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, it's a love song. It's a man telling his woman that I'm on my way, my love.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I just wanna comment on the fact that you mentioned that. I mean, this is a lovely song. I mean, I've watched the video a number of times, and it's one of my favorites. And yeah, well done to you too. Well done to Shanley Greens. I know you're watching. Well done to you. Amazing singer. Yeah. But you mentioned that you want to teach, to teach other people, young people, or you didn't mention it, you were not specific about the age, which is very interesting, that you didn't mention the age. Um, it is great that there are people like you who wants to transfer knowledge to other people, because what happens now is, in almost all the industries, people want to be good at what they do, but then when they leave this planet or when they die, that's it. We no longer have that special talent, being passed through to some other people. Sometimes other people can be able to perform, to they can be creative, but then they are unable to teach. You know, they can be good
Yeah,
singers, but they are unable to teach, singing or writing or whatever that has to do with music. Same thing with dance. They can be good dancers, but they're unable to teach. So that's really interesting, because that's what really missing right now in this world that we are in. You know, um, I feel terrible all the time, Pro-Mhlo, when I listen to old songs from the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and a few songs, from the 90s and so forth. Because when I listen to the sound, I can literally tell that it is something that we can never ever have again. So if I want the actual
yeah,
same sound, I have to go back to those songs. It's
yeah,
yeah, it's really heartbreaking. So I'm really glad that you're talking about, you know, um, passing this knowledge to other people, so that we can also find this lovely piece of artwork that you do from maybe one of your students. Even if it's not gonna be exactly the same, but will be like that a familiar sound. That is a familiar sound. That sounds like a
yeah,
sound from Pro-Mhlo. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
shout out to you for mentioning that, and I really wish that I wish you all the best, and like you said, if you believe in it and you keep pushing, and you keep having that hope that things are gonna come together, it is gonna happen. Trust me, it is gonna happen. As long as you do not give up, it is gonna happen. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Okay, thank you so much for the luck that you are wishing me. And you were talking about age restriction before you talked about all these things. So I won't be having any age restrictions, because I would like to help anyone and everyone who is willing to get help. Because also on my case, I got help from other artists and the other bigger people. Even Shiley Greens, she's the one who helped me, and mostly in how to do music professionally, like the professionalism I'm talking about. She's the one who helped me. So I would like to help other artists, and still I need help from other bigger people. Like I'm not under stable, so I also need a stable. So I need that help, and I would like to pass it to the others
Mm.
when I get it. So yeah, thanks for the luck, and I receive.
People,
Excuse me. Um,
did I just pass the flu on to you?
Absolutely not. Um, well, Pro-Mhlo, I like to work in areas where I haven't worked before, and I constantly feel like hitting a wall. But then, if there's a little help and maybe a little stool, I can get on it and I can see over the wall and, get over it. So I very much understand you. And sometimes we also need to trust that this will happen. The universe sends someone, or we find a solution. It's very true that we don't have to do it on our own, even though sometimes it feels like it.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. We need to help each other, but you have to look at the person you're seeking help from.
So in your career from when you were young, how was the support from family members? Did they understand the direction you were taking?
The honest truth is that they didn't understand it. They felt like I'm just wasting my time on this music thing. It was so hurting to me because I feel like this thing is mine. I love it and I have passion in it. So they didn't support me at all, and I'm sad to say that. But I tried to make means that they understand my music and they give me the support that they are trying to give now. I really appreciate to those family members that are giving me the support now. But I tried to install that by dropping that singing entitled Mama because it touched most of them and they felt like this guy is talented. So, yeah.
As an artist, you must be an ambassador for your art form. In other words, you can't just do your thing. People won't understand, and particularly if you are a leading edge artist, if what you're doing is changing things. I remember when I was a boy and I was dancing and singing, I had a big family, and unless I organized them getting together, what car they would drive in, made sure I got tickets for them, if I didn't organize it, they never would come. And it was hard. It was really hard because, as you said, you loved it, and it was hurtful when they just it didn't reside with them. I went through that too, but I learned very early on, you have to be the ambassador for your art form. It was a stroke of genius that you did that song, Mama, because it spoke to them. And then they understood, because it wasn't them watching you in a dialogue with your fans. You were in a dialogue with them through your art form. And for all of the artists out there, you have to be the ambassador for your art form. And I was just watching an interview with Lady Gaga yesterday, and she was on some show and they did a video call in to one of her fans. And afterwards, everybody was like, oh, that was really fun and everything. And she was like, no, that is what we are here to do. Just because once you have made it, it doesn't mean, you have to reach out and shine your light on people and on their lives. There has to be some personal connection. So I think it's wonderful, the things you're saying. And I'm sorry you had to go through that, but think of how much you learned because you went through that.
I learned a lot.
Yes, Ken. That's a very interesting topic. How do you deal with your family being at the premiere of your works, and then you're coming out and you're full of adrenalines and like high, and they just look at you like, and you need to make sure that you are a good host, at any time. And there was an art prize I received, and the person who was giving the prize, he went to my parents and he said, your son is so talented, and they couldn't say anything. They stood there like, oh my God, what's happening? It must be very special that when you have children that are going into that direction, that you might not have an idea why they need to dance or sing or express themselves. I imagine it must be a very special moment. So, well, what can you say to a young person who wants to be a musician or rapper?
Good question.
First of all, it's so important not to give up when you love that thing you're doing. So I can tell them that there are challenges that we face in this industry. So you have to find ways to deal with those situations. Like as I've said, my family was not supportive at all, but you have to find a way to overcome those situations. So to those young artists out there, I'm saying to them, never give up until you make it, and make sure that everything you do, you are pushing by all means. You try by all means to communicate and try to connect yourself with other people who can help you.
It's a beautiful, beautiful sentiment, and I have some very, very talented children myself, and I've watched them process their own talent, process the world around them, and it's just always inspiring. This has just been an incredible conversation, and I know that the fans out there are very, very, very eager to be able to contact you. In this day and in my day and age, there was like a wall, an army of people between the artists and the fans, and they fought to make it so you couldn't connect with your fans. Now we are accessible as artists. How can our audience find you, find your music? Is there a platform you use for your fans to communicate with you that you can get in a dialogue? Because it's the human race is just full of treasure.
Yeah, I'm available on Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok. My name is Pro-Mhlo. They can just search and find Pro-Mhlo. And I have a page on Facebook called Pro-Mhlo Music. They can follow my page. I can really appreciate that. And my contact details is +268 76 823 825. Please, dear fans and dear followers, and those who would like me to help them, don't misuse this contact.
Once more, maybe once more, a little bit slower, the numbers.
It's +268 76 823 825, or +268 79 823 825. I think they got it now.
And I think you're going to have so many invitations to have coffee and have meals and go on adventures.
I can really appreciate that.
People,
Okay, I will not share my contact details at this very moment because I'm already very busy. But I think also it's wonderful that it's possible nowadays. One of the most precious things is to be in touch with someone who's actually made it and is out there doing the real stuff. I've always loved it. When I was a student, I would wait after the performance and then go, behind the stage and talk with the choreographer and the dancers. And that was just the biggest thing. Or I would get a chance to be invited to like get an act to be the plus one on a special prize that the choreographer would get. So I would be there and wait and then go to the person who got the prize and say, "Can I ask you one question?" Why do you choreograph? Well, and they will be like, okay. But yeah, most people are so helpful. Like you said, Ken, Lady Gaga, and totally. So unfortunately, we have to get to the end of the show. There is a tradition that we go for a last round, like in a pub, you know. Okay, so last round. So now, last orders. Any last words?
So in the script, I'm the one that's up first for last words. And what I want to say is, I've been sitting and listening to this, and I have not checked with our producers, our executive producers, our board of directors, our sponsors. I haven't checked with all of those people who actually make the decisions for the Global Sunday. But what I would like to do, I think that we should get all of the rap artists and hip hop artists we've had on Global Sunday and have a rap
Topic.
Episode.
battle, a rap, whatever, and have one here in America, have one in Africa, have one in Germany, have a tour, like do a little world tour of all of you rap artists that have been on this show. They do it with the Olympics, the people that win the Olympics, they do a tour. They, all of the different, like The Voice and all of those shows that have people that win, but they get all the contestants and they do a live show. I think that would be incredible. And also for all of us, as people were saying, to be in the same room at the same time and sharing and enjoying. And then individually, first of all, Pro-Mhlo, you are always welcome here. If you want to come to the academy, we will set up a time. You can do a workshop with the kids, whatever it is. We are an artistic family, and without art, this is the what is it when there's a picture that with the words on it? It's a meme, something like that.
Yeah, it's a meme.
There's one that says, without art, Earth is just
Yeah.
I think on to you, Longani.
Absolutely. Wise words there from Mr. People and Mr. Ladwin. Yeah, I would like to say thank you so much, Pro-Mhlo, for making time, to be part of the show. Yeah, I know you mentioned that it's very late there where you are, but I think it was an amazing talk. It was an amazing conversation. I got to learn a lot about you, and inspiring words that you shared with us and the people who are watching at home. So amazing. I'm not gonna call you a young man anymore because I know I know
Yeah.
you did not approve that, but yeah, I'm just gonna call you a man. Yeah,
Yeah.
inspiring words that came from you. I wish you all the best in your career, and yeah, you part of the family now. You're part of the Global Sunday family. Anytime you have anything new, anything released, any new projects, anything you want to announce to your new audience, let us know as the Global Sunday. Even if you broke your toe and you want to let everybody know that you broke your toe, send us, and we'll definitely keep your new audience aware of how you're keeping, where you are, what you're busy with, what you're thinking, and what you are doing. Thank you so much one more time. It has been amazing having you here, and yeah, it's not the end. I'm probably sure we're gonna be doing more. I mean, I'm really in love with the idea that Mr. Ladin just proposed right now. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna propose it too, and we'll see what the bot says. I mean, but it's so amazing. I think that would be great. We have a lot of rappers that we have hosted here on the show previously, and that would be amazing. And I'm one of those rappers. I mean, you know. Anyways, yeah, over to you, Mr. Pro-Mhlo, as our special guest. Any last words for you? Please go for it, sir.
First of all, I would like to appreciate you hosting me here at the Global Sunday. I really appreciate, and thanks to everyone who is watching at this time. And I really appreciate those comments, those likes and shares. And I was so amazed that even the Malawian guy is watching, because I once collaborated with him. So thanks to everyone who is watching, and thanks to you guys. I'll make sure I do my level best to make you proud as my family now. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because at some point your audio, your audio went very slow, and you like speaking in slow mo, like thank you very much to everyone. and, and that was funny. That was funny. People, I'm gonna let you close the show. And yeah, I'm gonna let you give out the handles of the Global Sunday, where people can watch, and maybe diverse TV and everything. Go for it, please, Mr. People Tafel.
Okay, so I was working abroad, so I didn't install my microphone, but I want to be the Lungani Gwala guy now. Imagine that I have a really nice filter on my voice, and I sound like this amazingly. So, thank you everybody for watching. This is the Global Sunday Show, and I see you next week. Stay tuned.
If you do want to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram, the Global Sunday. You can follow us on Facebook, the Global Sunday. We are also available on TikTok now, the Global Sunday. You can go to Diverse TV, www.diversesa.co.za. We were live for the first time on our website, which is so amazing. Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you so much to all of you who are commenting. Thank you so much to all of you who are liking and sharing our live stream. You are so amazing. From me, Lungani Kwalabati, Lungani Kwalalo, aka Chocolate Kid Leo. Oh my God. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna get it, cause I know it's mine. That's what you just won't understand. I know what I want from the beginning. I'm ready for war. I know what I'm winning, and no matter what, I know that it's mine. I'm putting all that I have on the line. So bring it on. Bring it on. Just bring it on. Oh, 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 oh. Just bring it on. I'm gonna do it cause I'm good at it. I'm gonna do it cause I can. I'm gonna get it cause I know it's mine. That's what you just won't understand. I know what I want from the beginning. I'm ready for war. I know what I'm winning, and no matter what, I know that it's mine. I'm putting all that I have on the line. So bring it on. Bring it on. Just bring it on. Oh, Just bring it on. I'm gonna do it 'cause I'm good at it. I'm gonna do it 'cause I can. I'm gonna get it 'cause I know it's mine. That's what you just won't understand. I know what I want from the beginning. I'm ready for war. I know what I'm winning, and no matter what, I know that it's mine. I'm putting all that I have on the line. So bring it on. Bring it on. Just bring it on. Oh, Just bring it on. I'm gonna do it 'cause I'm good at it. I'm gonna do it 'cause I can.